I'm Tracy for intuitivetracyroy.com, and today's video is going to do with the topic of narcissism. So for those of you who have been listening or watching, viewing my videos on intuition and readings with my spirit guide, White Hawk, I have mentioned before that I want to do a video on narcissism because it is something that is near and dear to my heart, because it is something that has affected me my whole life. And although it is something only that I awoke to in the last 2 years, my whole life it has been around me, meaning that I was born into a family that was full of narcissists as well as empaths and highly sensitive people. And so that is in part as well why I wanted to start these videos, because I myself am a highly sensitive person and an empath, and I also have children who are highly sensitive people and empaths. And I also have family members and ex-boyfriends, ex-spouses who are narcissists. So perhaps you're starting to sort of see the pattern here. And I will also say off the top of this video that you please understand these are the opinions of myself, expressed only by me, not by the expressed by family members or friends or anybody. These are my own opinions, and you may put allegedly in front of every story if you so wish. Now, the reason for my doing these videos is because, as I said, narcissism has been around me my whole life. And those who live with narcissists and have narcissists in their life, it affects them deeply. It wounds them to the point that they just can't get up in life and they struggle in life, because really what it is when you have a narcissist in your life, it doesn't matter whether you're an empath or an HSP or, ESP or whatever you are. If you're on the other side of the narcissist and in that relationship with them, then you are a host to them, meaning they are the leech and you are the host, and they are feeding on you. So that's that whole predator-prey relationship that occurs. And so oftentimes you'll find that you will be sucked dry of life, of your life force energy, of your spirit, of everything. In fact, I find people who are in relationships with narcissists go from being very vibrant individuals to being very dull, sallow, injured, ill, diseased individuals. And my belief is that that comes from being around the narcissist, because they are sucking your life force energy for their own power, because it is the only way that they know how to live, to get power. So instead of coming from a place of love and getting power and energy and commanding attention, they demand attention. And by doing so, they suck it out of you. And when they suck it out of you, if you are a listener to many videos on narcissism, you have probably heard how it begins. It starts with the love bombing phase, then it goes to the devaluing and discard. And so in the love bombing phase, you are just the bee's knees to them. You're everything. In fact, they will mirror you. So in my case, how can I say mirroring happened? I'm spiritual. I was at that time starting to, this is about my marriage, which has just recently ended in the last 2 years. And, blessed be that I got out of it. The mirroring in that case was I was becoming spiritual. I was starting to use my intuition. I was doing intuition work, and I was into crystals and Native American spirituality and philosophies. And when he came into my life, he would start to mirror these. And how he did it is he would bring to me and talk to me about how he he had done a camp with children, and it was a very spiritual and uplifting thing. And so it was the one thing in his life he had done. But he'd also had this great book by Jamie Sams called Earth Medicine, and I will be forever grateful that he introduced me into that book, because I absolutely love it. And so he showed me this book, and then in the end, I bought myself one. And so that made me think, oh, he's such a very spiritual person. He's grounded. He's a lot like me, and that's what they will do, right? And then the gifts would come, and they would be beautiful pieces of amethyst and a piece of citrine and citrine, allowing the French to sort of come through there. And I thought, oh my God, isn't he just wonderful? And of course, you know, Valentine's Day was amazing. My birthday was amazing, right? And we went on a trip to Europe for a wedding, and he bought me a dress and all these wonderful things. And then what began happening, and what I didn't realize was happening, is that he started taking away all the wonderful things about me. And I often would say, you know, they cut you down at the knees, and then all of a sudden they'd come back and they would build you back up a bit. And then they come back and they cut you down at the knees again. So you'd be just getting up, and then you'd fall back down again, because they would do something that, and usually in my case, it was by means of belittling, degrading, yelling. It was all mental, emotional, and psychological abuse. And if you go to the various other, you know, videos, and there's so many good ones out there, please listen to them. Please listen to this one as well, and listen to that one. You know, you're going to hear about gaslighting. And I had no idea what gaslighting was until, you know, I read these Facebook group posts and listened to the videos, and then I started seeing it. I started seeing it unravel or show itself to me in my relationship. And lo and behold, a big thing I could tell you is that so it's been 2 years that I'm almost separated, but for a year and a half, we still lived together, because we were getting the separation agreement sorted. And that was very challenging, as many people will probably tell you. When you're dealing with a narcissist, it's not simple by any means. They make life miserable, because they really don't want to let go of you as the host, right? And so we lived together for a year and a half. How much hell was that, right? And so I was able to see in that year and a half how he gaslighted me, and what gaslighting was, and that I had been lighted, if I may say. I had been gaslighted for the full almost 15 years of marriage. And then you start thinking back about all your other relationships, and maybe how you've been gaslit in those, and relationship with your parents and coworkers and bosses and so on and so forth. And just so you know, if you grow up in a family with narcissism, you're going to be comfortable in relationships with narcissists, because you know how to operate within those relationships. And to you, that is what's known. That is what is comfortable. That is what is love. And so for me, because I grew up with narcissism in my family, and I was an empath and HSP, which makes it even worse. Or sorry, I shouldn't even say that. It makes it worse. It's just very hard on the HSP and empath, because they are such caring individuals. They just feel a lot more intense. It's not to say that other people don't feel. It just means we feel more intensely. So some people, an example would be, some people would feel how a butterfly would, you know, flap its wings, and they might just get a little breeze. But to an HSP, that's like a gale force wind, is kind of how the difference is to say that. No, we're no better than other people. We're just different. So I'm sorry if I made it seem that way. So for me, throughout my whole life, not only did I have, I'm not sure if it's parents or a parent, and also siblings who are, because they learned from the parents. I had boyfriends. I believe probably 95% of my boyfriends were narcissists. You know, coworkers, friends, and, you know, worst of all, my bosses who were narcissists. And the whole gaslighting thing, I can remember an experience with that where, you know, we had a discussion over a phone bill, and at that time I was working for a cosmetic company. I was the account executive for the Ottawa Gatineau area, and I was living in a heritage home at the time in an apartment, and we had a discussion about how I needed to put a phone line through a cement wall, and that it would cost quite a bit of money, but I did get the A-OK to go do it, and so I did do it. And of course, the bill came out to be a lot, and then the company, of course, you expense that through the company, and they pay for it. And so then all of a sudden in one of my performance reviews, this comes up about this and how, you know, she had never A-OK'd it. And I was like, but you did A-OK it? And she said, no, I would never A-OK something like that. And I thought, well, you know, how could I have gone ahead and had this done without your A-OK? And so that's kind of how gaslighting can work. You're saying, yes, you did. And they're saying, no, I never said that. I would never allow something like that to happen, right? And so this narcissistic, she was really from, what's that called? The movie. Oh, shoot. Meryl Streep, Anne Hathaway. Anyways, if you know what it is, put it in the comments. I'd love to remember it. Devil Wears Prada. That was really my cosmetics boss. Really, she was awful, absolutely awful. But I didn't know it then. I didn't know what gaslighting was then. I didn't know what narcissism was then. All I could keep thinking was, oh my God, I'm an awful person. Oh my God, I'm a loser. Oh my God, I can't do anything right. Because in this job, you worked from home, and then you went around to the various counters. And, you know, I would be up at 6 a.m. and I would be on my computer, and then you go throughout the day, and then I'd still be on my computer. So say I have dinner, and then I'd be back on my computer to maybe 11 o'clock at night and go to bed and start again. But you know what? That wasn't enough. You know, like, that wasn't enough for her. You know, it wasn't good enough, even though the financial numbers were up. There was always something wrong. I was never doing anything right. Yet in the beginning, when I was the new person that she had hired, I was the golden girl, right? But then she started into the devaluing stage, and then finally where she would discard me. And that was based on, you know, the bill from the heritage home and other things she said that weren't true, that we had discussed and we were supposed to be okay about. And I was relieved of my position, right? And so that was the narcissistic boss. And so my point being, you will attract these people all the way through your life. And it's hell. It really is, because narcissists leave debris, like dead debris, in their path, in their wake. They really do. They walk away and there are dead people, like not literally dead, physically dead. They are spiritually dead. They are sucked dry. So if you can think of the image of, two images I think of, E.T. So when E.T. the alien comes to Earth, and because of the ways of the humans and so on and so forth, he becomes emaciated and lifeless. He has no life force left. That's what they do to you. Or you think of the mermaid, the Disney mermaid movie, and the big witch, I can't remember her name, the sea witch, what she does to Ariel and also does to King Titan. And she minimizes them to like nothing, They're living, but they're gray and they're slimy and they have no life force and they have no energy. And she's this big energy witch, you know, because she just steals everybody power. That's where her energy comes from, because she doesn't know how to get energy from love. And then the other one I can think of is the Hulk. It was a Hulk movie with the Hulk. And then it was this guy who used electricity to become bigger. So he would take the electrical power outlets and he would put them together, and then his energy would come from that, kind of like thereby sucking it out of power from the energy lines and from people. And then he grew and he became bigger. And so although it's not like literally what happens to us, right, because we don't become bigger like that, or become smaller like that. But that is what happens to our life force. And although for them on one side, they become bigger and greater and broader, it's not real. It's a false power. It's a power that is based on draining others of their power, right? And whereas our life force all of a sudden becomes very small, and we don't have a voice anymore. We're tired all the time, and we're gray, and we just don't look good. That's kind of how it comes, because if you are authentic and you're living a positive life and you're around healthy people with vibrant energy, high vibrational energy, right? Ones that come from love, that come from joy, then you yourself are going to be happy. You hear people when they talk about, this is what I look like with my narc. This is what I look like after I left my narc. And when they've left their narc, now they're vibrant and they're happy looking again. And one of the key things with me was, and I wish I had the picture, maybe I'll find it, is that when I first went with my ex-husband now, I remember the pictures when I first met him, and, I loved life and I felt good about myself. I did have some low self-esteem issues, which is why he was able to get in, right? But I felt good about the way I looked. And then as life progressed from marrying him and then having children, I had 2 small children. And there's a particular picture when we went to a marriage, to a wedding in Ireland, and I was sitting with my kids. And despite time changes and all that, I saw a picture of myself and I said, oh my God, I look bloated. I look tired, I look old, I look gray, I look ugly. Why is that, right? And most people would say, well, it's because you have 2 small children and all that goes along with that. And I was like, no, there's more to it than that. And every time I would try to get up, meaning move forward in life and do better in life, 3 months later, I'd be back down again, either with a chest cold, and it always showed up as injury or illness, right? Or he would scream and yell at me and degrade me so much that I would just go down in a ball of tears, right? And it just, I think what happened is that I just couldn't get up, because being around people like that, you won't get up because they suck you dry. The minute they feel that you are getting up, they suck you back into that somehow. And they're nice when they suck you back into it, right? As someone put it, as all of a sudden they start giving you crumbs to keep you there, right? So you go, oh, well, maybe it's different this time. Maybe he loves me again and will treat me good. And it does, maybe for 2 weeks or a month. And then it goes back to the crap that you were in before. And this just goes on and on and on and on. It's never ending, and they never change. Don't kid yourself. They never change. And so the best thing you can do is turn and run and have no contact with them. They are the most manipulative, deceitful people you will ever meet. They are what evil is here on earth. Okay, guys, for now, that's where I'm going to leave it. Join me next week when I do another vlog on narcissism. I'll see where it's going to go. I'm not quite sure where I want to take it, and all I knew is I needed to start. And my guides would say, well, just start at the beginning. And I'm like, where's the beginning? And they said, just start. So this is my start for you. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Join me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, where I do post things on narcissism, but I also post a daily reading and a weekly reading. So daily readings Mondays and Thursday, weekly reading once a week, by Sunday probably for the following week. And that helps you, that supports you and guides you, not just in narcissism and dealing with narcissisms or being an HSP and empath, but just in life. God bless, guys. See you next week.